Alright, welcome back to Hot Topics TV, y'all. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into it. Kobe Bryant, birthday just passed. Kobe Bryant, a legend for sure. Those of us who grew up watching Kobe play basketball, we thought, he would still be here. I mean, this was his 44th birthday. This was his 44th birthday. He should still be around. However, destiny wouldn't have it that way. So here we are. The jury in Kobe Bryant's crash photo lawsuit urged to award $75 million to Vanessa Bryant and co-plaintiffs. $75 million. Here's the thing. When Kobe died, the crash scene, he died in a helicopter. You could imagine paparazzis trying to get pictures of Kobe or his remains. And from what we've been told through the media, it was not a pretty sight. They were dismembered. Body in pieces all over the place. So whoever is able to actually capture pictures of this, they could somehow later on in the future sell these pictures for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Not only the fact that they could sell these pictures, but I think Kobe's widow, Vanessa, is more worried about, she doesn't want to see her husband and her daughter this way. And you know how the internet is. These things can pop up on the internet somewhere because somebody sold it or somebody stole the copies from whoever took them, and they're all over the internet. And suddenly you will be forced to relive this moment, seeing your husband and your child in pieces, literally, right? So this is emotionally damaging and stressful. Vanessa Bryant's lawyer, during closing arguments on Tuesday, he implored the jury in the Kobe Bryant's crash photo lawsuit against the Los Angeles County to award her and a co-plaintiff $75 million for emotional distress. The lawsuit claims that emergency personnel, sheriffs, and fire department snapped and shared graphic photos that were taken from the helicopter crash site that killed the NBA legend and the couple's 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, and 7 other people that were aboard that vessel. Craig Lavoie, he addressed the 9-member jury Tuesday in Los Angeles federal court and said that Vanessa and family and friends, Christopher Chester, a co-plaintiff who lost his wife and his daughter in the same crash, they will have to live in fear that one day, those photos will resurface in public or online, and that will cause irreparable damages. Either the photos will surface and their worst fears will have been realized, or they will live in fear daily that today might be the day that those photos actually show up. Vanessa's attorney also evoked that what would have been Kobe's 44th birthday and asked the jury for justice, please, and for some accountability on his behalf. According to the news outlet, Chester's attorney, Jerome Jackson, proposed that the jury award each plaintiff $2.5 million for their suffering over the last 2 years and as much as $1 million per year for the rest of their lives. Going by those numbers, Jackson said that Chester, who's 48 years old, he should get $30 million, and Vanessa, Kobe's widow, who's 40 years old, she should get $40 million in future damages. Now, according to representatives for the Los Angeles County, they said that Los Angeles County will offer a rebuttal on Wednesday on what will be the 11th day of the trial. So this thing's been dragging on for days. It wasn't a get in there, make an agreement, everybody signs and get out. It's been 11 days in the trenches with this. Because of course, the city is not trying to pay out no $72 million in damages. But they have really good attorneys. And to be honest with you, I think they're actually going to get this money or somewhere close to it. Somewhere close to it. Now, another deputy also admitted showing a bartender the photos. Now, you got to hear this part, right? So, according to the reports, a sheriff's deputy already admitted to sharing the gruesome photos with another sheriff's deputy while they played Call of Duty video games. Another deputy also admitted showing a bartender the photos, and a firefighter also showed photos taken on his personal phone to a group of people that were attending an awards ceremony 1 month after the helicopter crash. So people have seen these pictures of Kobe Bryant dismembered, of his daughter dismembered, and all this other stuff. People have seen these pictures, and they've seen them because of these guys who are supposed to be professional. The closing argument came 4 days after Vanessa took the witness stand and emotionally revealed that, to this day, I still experience panic attacks and anxiety over the possibility of seeing those photos from the devastating January 2020 helicopter crash. She also recalled being at home and said that she was there breastfeeding their 7-month-old daughter, Capri, when she was alerted to a Los Angeles Times report about sheriff deputies sharing these photos. In May of 2020, Vanessa filed a claim against the LA County Sheriff's Department for sharing private photos of the crash scene in Calabasas, California. The following September, she filed a lawsuit which seeks unspecified damages, including punitive damages for negligence, invasion of privacy, as well as intentional infliction of emotional distress. The lawsuit accuses 8 sheriff's deputies of taking cell phone photos on their personal phones of the bodies of her late husband and her late daughter for their personal use. They've also proven so far that they have shown these photos to other people outside of their professional circle that had nothing to do with it, just to be showing the pictures off. Hey, I was at the crash site. We were there. We were the first responders when the helicopter went down with Kobe Bryant on it. You want to see? See, here he is right here. Look, zoom in close up. See, I got a close-up picture. See his face? Yeah, he was dismembered, man. It was a bad call. They've been showing those photos around like that. According to Bloomberg, many of the individuals who snapped and shared the pictures have since erased the photos or got rid of their phones, which makes it clearly impossible to determine how widely these photos were shared. They either erased it or got rid of their phones altogether. The news outlet also reported that Jackson, Chester's attorney, told the jury he got a voice message from a woman last week telling him that she saw or she knew where the photos from the scenes were, and that a link was available and that the person would share them for free. Earlier in the trial, Vanessa was so overcome with emotions during a witness testimony that she tearfully exited the courtroom after the witness was asked if he had seen any apparent images of her little daughter, Gianna's body. Vanessa cried out loud and she stood up. She covered her face and she left the courtroom. She did not return for the remainder of the testimony. Why? This is why. These pictures can be damaging. This woman has already had to accept losing the love of her life, her husband, and losing her child in one swoop. And she knows that she lost them in a horrendous and gruesome manner. She doesn't want to see it. And her worst fear is actually seeing it. And to know that these people have pictures walking around and showing them to other people, she's in fear that it will pop up in front of her one day and she won't have any control over it. She might be just scrolling the internet and, oh, damn, there's a pic. You see the pictures of Kobe Bryant at the crash site? Yo, he died bad, yo. You should see his daughter, what happened to her. And of course, she doesn't want to see all that. So she couldn't even bear a testimony of someone who stood up to testify that, yo, I've seen it. And there's a link to it where they'll share it for free. And they're asking them to describe it. And she can't handle it. Legal expert Julie Rendelman, who is not involved in the Kobe Bryant crash photo lawsuit, tells ET that Vanessa's lawyers asking witnesses to tell the jury in graphic details about what they saw in the photo is very necessary. However, it is painful for her, but it is very necessary because those photos do exist. So if they can describe what they saw, then that is confirmation that they did see it. So there's several reasons why Vanessa Bryant's lawyer want to get out just how gruesome these photos are. First of all, the county wants the jury to believe that the reason that these so-called professional first responders took these photos, they were taken because they were required to be taken. So the question becomes, well, were they really required to zoom up close to the remains of each of the individuals, including Kobe Bryant's face and his child? And the answer may be, well, that might not be what they were required to do. The second reason is, the more gruesome these photos are, the more emotionally distressing it is to Vanessa Bryant and her family to know that individuals that have absolutely nothing to do and no right to view these photos actually had the opportunity to do so. LA County lawyer Marie Hashmal insisted that the county did not violate the Bryant family's constitutional rights by publicly spreading unauthorized photos. She said, they're not online and they're not in the media. They've never, ever been seen by the plaintiffs themselves. She said, this is not an accident. That is a function of how diligent the department leaders were. Well, Vanessa's lawyer said, not so fast, my friend. The county is saying that the reason that those photos were taken was because it was for a legitimate investigation. Vanessa Bryant's team is saying, no, they were taken because people wanted almost a prize for this. They wanted to be the ones who saw what happened to her loved ones. And then they were able to say that they had it and potentially show them to other people. And you can imagine on the black market, there's going to be a prize for these photos. So this is kind of like some kind, oh, I have these $1 million photos and I'll one day sell these and get rich. The fact that a bartender was able to describe the photos in graphic detail may not bode well for the county. I'm confident that a bartender was not one of the people that was supposed to see those photos. Her lawyer is arguing. Now, obviously, if they only showed it to one person versus sending it out into, say, social media, there's a difference in terms of potentially what the damages could be. But either way, it's still a form of dissemination that arguably is not acceptable. Keep in mind, dissemination does not require someone to actually email or text or send those photos in some fashion. All it requires is showing someone a photo of something that they're not entitled to see. That's what dissemination is. Now, as this goes on, we will see how this case turns out. Like I said before, I actually believe that Kobe Bryant's widow, Vanessa Bryant, and her co-plaintiff are probably going to get that award money. It's $75 million. I see no justification for those professionals or who should have been acting professionally. Yes, they might have had to take photos, but they're actually not, they are not a crime scene investigators. Those photos would be left up to forensic teams. Those photos would not be left up to first responders, police, and fire department. That's not their job. That's not in their job description. Police does not come on the scene and take photos. Fire department does not come on the scene and take photos for an investigation, or maybe they do. And actually, I could see them doing it because each department has to do its own investigation. However, for those photos to have been leaked to the point where a random bartender can explain and describe exactly what she saw or he saw in the photos, that tells you that those photos have been thrown around. And not only them, it's been shown on Call of Duty, which is video gaming online, and there's proof that it's been shown to other people in a group of people in other places. That's wrong, and it's very wrong. So let's see how this goes. I'll be following this story shortly. A lot of people are saying, man, she's rich already. She's just after the money. Nah, I think she is deeply hurt, and she is after making whoever caused that hurt to pay. And at the end of the day, if she's after the money, then so be it. Sometimes that's how you have to hurt some people, by hitting them in the pockets, making them realize that what they did was not right, so they won't do it again. You know what I mean? Could you imagine getting up one day, you get on a computer, and then there you're seeing a photo of the legendary Kobe Bryant, dismembered. Let's make it more personal. Could you imagine waking up one day and seeing pictures of your close family members who died in an accident spread all over the internet, and it's your mom or it's your sister, and she's dismembered? You would feel some type of way. So again, the attorney says they will have to live with either the fear that this will or could possibly one day surface on social media, or the anxieties, or God forbid, if it actually does surface and Vanessa and all Kobe's remaining kids get to see their sibling and their dad in this manner. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Do you think that she is worthy of the $75 million? It should be paid out? Or do you think that it's a dumb case and they should close it down and go home? What do you think? Talk to me, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know, if the topic is hot, we're on it. Rest in peace to a legend, Kobe Bryant. Peace.